Hey, what's happening out there? This is Halftime Prep Talk. HTPT is sponsored by our friends at Fan and Automotive Family. We are here at Steve Womack Field at East Carter High School. I'm joined by Matthew Sparks and Zach Clemmy. I'm Aaron Snyder. Raiders football coach Tim Champlin, Peyton Wilburn, and Darren Phillips will join us today. Guys, you know what drives me crazy?
Tell us.
These fake Facebook holidays. They're driving me nuts.
Oh, you're going to get
365 days a year, there's a Facebook holiday now. Happy Pet Ferret Day. Happy Third Cousin Day. Well, I tell you what.
There's a Pet Ferret Day?
There should be.
I had no idea.
And you know what? There's not one. There should be as well. I'm starting to warm up to the idea, actually.
Yeah.
Sports Writer Appreciation Day.
Ooh.
Never happen.
No, that will never happen.
Never happen.
Well, we've been dodging daggers all week, so it'd be nice to have just one day. Sports Writer Appreciation Day.
You sound a little mad about it.
Oh, I'm not bad at all.
Oh, yeah.
No. I just got to speak up over
He's
the
just
rain.
projecting.
Yeah.
Yes.
You sound a little scary, though. It's Halloween week. You sound a little scary.
Hey, speaking of Halloween week,
Yeah.
if you had a jack-o'-lantern in front of you right now and you had to carve the pumpkin, what design would you put on the pumpkin to accurately depict this season so far?
That's a great question, by the way. I'd probably put 3A and 5 because that district has been...
You in algebra?
Yeah. There's a little math problem there. I think that district has been really just kind of hard to figure out. It's been a little scary trying to predict games this year, too, as we've all figured out here this season. But that is a wild district, and it's going to come down to non-district games this week to determine who's going to get the top stage.
What about you, Zach?
Rain.
That's a good one. That's hard to follow.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm going to go the numbers
Do you spell
route.
out rain, or do you we'll cover out little drops of rain?
I hadn't really got that far, but it's just
Okay.
it seems like every Friday night except for the last Friday night maybe it's been raining. There's a second HTPT, or the third HTPT week actually that it's been raining. It rains this time of year and it's not really that big of a deal. But
Is there any way you can put some, raindrops and then John Flavel in the background with a camera in your pumpkin? Because he claims that every time he covers a game for us, it's raining.
I think that's probably doable. Yeah,
Okay.
if it'll make him happy. I'm not sure he can be made happy, but
Well, we'll try. We'll
We can
certainly
try.
try our best.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the numbers route kind of like you did. You threw a letter in there, an A, but
Yeah.
I'm going to go 26-1,
Okay.
26-1, and that would be the combined record of the top three teams in the area, as we call it. Northeastern Kentucky is what we cover. Johnson Central, Paintsville, and Ashland together are 26-1. Very impressive, and I think all three have a chance at a state title this year.
Well, you could say
I mean, not all three can,
right.
Yeah.
but they all three have a chance.
You could say that that's the top 3 teams in the state. Well, not even the area. They could say they're the top 3 teams in the whole state of Kentucky.
Whoa. You just dropped the bomb on me.
I just did. I'm back.
After 1 week of absence, he's back with,
Yeah.
he's back with a bang.
Yeah.
Okay, check out the Chick-fil-A ticker on the bottom of your screen to check out this upcoming slate of games this weekend, and also a recap of scores last weekend. We're going to move on to game balls. Game balls, fellas. I guess I'll go first since I have the ball in my hand. I don't want to take any chances of handing off in the slipperiness here. I'm going to go Drew O'Brien of Ashland. He was able to shoot through the gaps with regularity against Johnson Central on Friday night. He had a really impressive performance. Had a sack, about 10 tackles, a forced fumble, and he just really wreaked havoc, I think, and got a little bit in Bryce Workman's head. Bryce Workman is a good quarterback who's pretty mentally tough as well. He's been in tough situations throughout his career, but I think Drew O'Brien kind of got in Johnson Central's offense's head a little bit. So Drew O'Brien.
Paintsville's kickoff specialist, his last name is Dos Santos, and you can see his first name on your screen. I've even talked to Paintsville's coaches, Paintsville's PA people. They're not quite sure how to pronounce it, so this is not us making fun, but just not wanting to butcher it.
Yes.
It's spelled Joao. 6 touchbacks in the first half against Raceland. He had plenty of opportunities because their offense was moving the ball, putting it in the end zone. They even scored a defensive touchdown in the first half, and when Raceland started every drive at his 20, they started one at the 21. They were actually able to return 1 kickoff. So he put 7 of his 8 kickoffs in the end zone, 6 of them in the first half. But when you a high school team, when you put them on their own 20, you have to execute probably 5, 6, 10, 12 times in order to get the ball in the end zone. That gives Paintsville's defense a lot of opportunities to make a play, to make something happen, and they were able to do that. Raceland got behind the chains a couple times, negative yardage plays, penalties, etc. And they were off track all night. And their starting field position was a big part of that. So field position is certainly big in high school football, and we'll go with Mr. Dos Santos, also a soccer player for Paintsville, on this one.
Nice.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm going to the sideline this week, and I'm going to give my game ball to Coach Jim Matney of the Johnsonville Golden Eagles. You know, I had another instant classic. Of course, we all know that instant classic with Ashland this week. But as soon as Ashland scored that touchdown in the third quarter, Central responded with a quick touchdown, and I think I know Matney knew that 1 point could have decided that game. And of course, Matney, they've been known to roll the dice a little bit, of course, we know. So
especially in that series.
Yeah, especially in that series, 2012. I'm sure Tomcat fans don't want to be reminded of that game in 2012. So I won't do
Well,
that
we
here.
covered Johnson Central too. So
Exactly right. But so I had when you got Tyler Pack in your stable there, I mean, it's easy to he kicks the ball so far and so high it comes down with icicles on it. But running that play, he also threw a pass too, which I found just great. You have 3 running backs at your disposal, and you throw a pass play in there. So I think Jim Matney, for just his confidence in his team to roll the dice and go for that 2-point conversion, earns my game ball this week.
I will say it was a well-coached game on both sides, a well-played game, a clean game. Both sides really showed what they're made of.
Exactly.
And I think each team, when they meet, and I think they will meet for the region final, that's going to be a dandy of a game in Paintsville.
Well, Ashland has that great defense this year, probably one of the best in the area. And that's another reason I think Matney just felt he had it compelled to that 2-point conversion because he might not get another chance at it.
All right. HTPT's top 3 games of the week. Fellas, let's go first in Lexington. Ashland at Tates Creek. Tates Creek's 4-5. I know you had that written down, Matt. I stole your line. But Ashland's 8-1. The Tomcats go on the road to face an opponent that doesn't have a great record, but that is not always indicative of how the team is, right, Matt?
Yeah, what a great way to test yourself for a playoff run and going on the road to Lexington and facing a 6A team. They won 4 games, as you said, and I have it written down. And but they play a tough schedule. Maybe not play the likes of Quentin Baker this year, maybe possibly. I think Quentin Baker's 110 yards away from 2,000 on the year. I think he gets that on Friday night. I think Ashland wins a close game. Ashland, in their little getting ready for the playoff run, you like to see some other guys in offense maybe step up, make some plays besides Quentin Baker. I think that is necessary for their postseason run. Getting farther in the playoffs, I think they need some more guys on offense to make some plays.
It's Tates Creek, so it might be Tate Dowdy's time.
Exactly. I was getting ready to say that.
Oh, sorry.
And,
hold on again.
But I would also like to see some other guys. They played well. Tate Dowdy, Noah Roberts.
Noah Roberts.
Yes. I'm sorry. Noah Roberts. Should have had that written down. Noah Roberts and Drew O'Brien, of course. But I'd like to see those guys make some more plays on offense. I think Coach Love would like to see that too. And you may see that on Friday night.
Okay.
As we expected, we talked about this last week, they used their offensive personnel a little bit differently. Against Johnson Central, spread the love around a little bit. That's a good one. Tony Love spread the love around a little bit.
Yeah.
And they will
Thanks for
continue.
pointing that out. I didn't pick up on it.
I shouldn't have. I should have just kept going. But they did.
I got it.
They did use their personnel a little bit differently. They are trying to take, obviously Quentin Baker's their bell cow. He's the guy, but you don't want it to be where a defense knows that he's coming every single play. And so you give even a little bit of a short passing game to a guy like Drew O'Brien in space or a guy like Kirtland Brown or their receivers who they haven't utilized a whole lot in the passing game this year. Even a little bit of that kind of stuff will help them if they're able to take some of the focus off Baker. And I think they continue to try to do that, not knowing a whole lot about Tates Creek, but in the past, a reputation for being both big, obviously, as a 6A school and big in their size. So that will maybe be a challenge that Ashland's not seen a whole lot of. They did just come off playing a very big line in Johnson Central,
and played very well again.
Yeah. Ashland's line was impressive in that game for sure.
Yes,
I think they get back on the horse and take care of business in Lexington and see how far they can ride this thing.
Yeah. When will Quentin Baker get his 2,000th yard of the season? Do you think before the half even? Or
well, I don't know about that, but I think he will get that Friday night.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. All right. Johnson Central at Belfry. What was the score? You had this written down too. What was the score last year?
35-0.
Last year, wow. Central won 35-0 last year. You think they can do that again?
That remains to be seen. Belfry, obviously one of the best programs in Eastern Kentucky. They may be on the best run in the history of Eastern Kentucky right now. The way they've put it together, Coach Haywood has a reputation of being a guy who isn't overly concerned with the outcome of this game. Central's beaten them either 2 or 3 years in a row, and several of the last ones in the series, and then Belfry will turn around and make its run, win a state championship. So, you know, it's a good test for them. Two very similar teams offensively, run similar offenses, and Coach Matney, of course, is from that area, from Belfry, I believe. So he is familiar with what they do. And he and Coach Haywood are, I don't know how close they are, but they are of similar minds in a lot of ways. I like Johnston Central, though, to go down there and take care of business as well. And you know, we've not seen anybody around here other than Ashland who's been able to play close to them. And I think I don't know this is going to be a 35-point spread, but I think they win comfortably.
I'm pretty sure Jim Matney played for Coach Haywood. Has Coach Haywood been around that long?
Hey, he's a veteran for sure. We can say that.
And you said I think you hit on the key there. Not overly concerned. Coach Haywood's not overly concerned about anything.
No,
that's
nor
why
should
he's
he
such
be.
a good coach.
Hey, that's the only way you can last as a high school football coach is if you kind of let things roll off your back and you don't worry about the things that you don't have to worry about.
Just like they're not going to worry about losing to Johnson Central right before the playoffs, because that's what's going to happen.
That's good. They might have to worry, but I think they had to make some adjustments from last year. You know, they beat them 35-0, but they also only hold them to 133 yards of total offense.
Right.
On their way, but you know, of course, they lost 35-0 on their way to a 3A championship.
Right.
I think the defense may win out here for Central. You know, their defense may be even better than last year. And you know, I always looked this up too, and I had this written down too. You know, Central had a 28-game regular season winning streak. You know, the last team to beat them?
Give it to me.
Belfry.
Hey-o.
Wow. If we could end the show right now, we would. We'd just walk off.
But like I said, I think their defense takes care of business, and I think Central wins big.
Rail City's Bowl coming up. It's back, just like you are, Matt. After a week off, now the Rail City's Bowl is back after what? Just 2 seasons off? Is that all? That's all it was. It seems like it's been forever since they played. Raceland at Russell, and Henry R. Evans Stadium is the site of the game, and I think that the Red Devils guys are just playing better right now than Raceland is. I'm not sure what's going on with the Rams. I mean, it might have a little something to do with Fairview and Paintsville. Fairview played awfully well. Paintsville is just
they're on another
rocking
level right now. Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I think Russell will win the game, but I think that Raceland can compete in it. Raceland was pretty dominant before the end of this series over the last few years that they were playing them. So I'm going to go Russell.
I'll tell you this, if Raceland's minds is not right, seeing Russell on the other side of the field ought to be able to fix that in a hurry, because I remember talking to Bob Trimble last year during basketball season and kind of mentioned, well, you know, what's the mindset of your guys like? I said, well, if we can't get ready to play Russell tomorrow night, then we ought to not be wearing a Raceland Ram jersey. So it's kind of the same mindset, obviously, for football over there. But like you mentioned, Russell's is playing well right now, and Raceland, quite frankly, is not. And so I'd like to see probably Raceland be able to execute a little bit more, and certainly Mike Sammons would like to see that. But you know, Russell is a difficult defense to execute against, certainly when you have to, and so give Russell a slight edge there.
So all 3 go Ashland, all 3 go Central. Do all 3 go Russell?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Zach here too. Be interesting to see how the Raceland responds Friday night after losing 2 district games, 2 kind of rivals. I think seeing the maroon on their side of the football will probably help that. I think you want to see a more inspired performance from them. You know, Raceland has beaten Russell 5 straight times, and I think the fans in Flatwoods remember that. And I think you want to see an inspired performance from Russell too. Nick Conley and Jacob McKee have been as healthy as they've been all year. I think that's a big plus for Russell. And you know, Raceland has to start the playoffs the following week on the road. That's only the 2nd time since 2004 that they have started the playoffs on the road. They don't have that very much at Raceland. So with that mental, you know, on their brain, you know, when they think about that, could maybe see how they respond to that too.
Okay.
Yeah, and going on the road this week may help with that as well as kind of getting ready for that. So.
Tim Champlin coming up. Joining us now is Tim Champlin, first-year football coach here at East Carter. Of course, you were an assistant. Now you're the head coach. The first thing I wanted to ask was, what do you think people think when they hear the words East Carter football?
You know, in my opinion, what people think, and we've talked to the team about it all year, what people think of when they think of East Carter football is, a team that would come out and play hard for a little while and then eventually give up once they got down, that wouldn't put four quarters together, didn't take it serious, maybe didn't take football serious, and things like that. And we talked about it coming in. One thing that we wanted to be this year, one of the things that we wanted to change was, we're going to play for four quarters the entire game. We're going to fight, scratch, and claw to do whatever we had to do to play, to try to find a victory, to be in the game, and we wanted to be the most physical team that you played. When you left here on Friday night, win, lose, or draw, that you got on the bus and you said, man, that was a physical football team. And I think we've done those things. We haven't won the games that we wanted to, but for the most part all season, I feel like we have played the entire game. There's been series or drives or quarters that we talk about on Mondays during film session that we would like to have gotten back. The second quarter of the West Carter game, for example, we go into the second quarter, I think the score's 7-6 or 7-0, and we come out of the second quarter and it's 36-0. We'd like to get that quarter back, but for the most part, I think we've been a physical football team. It's the kind of offense that we play is a physical ground and pound style, and so I think we've accomplished a couple of those, but we've still got some work to do.
When you were hired, you talked about accomplishing little victories, starting kind of small and then building up to the big victories. What specifically were the little victories? Is it kind of what you were just talking about?
Yeah, it is. It's kind of what we're talking about. The drive against Ashland, the 10.5-minute drive, that was a victory for us, and that's the kind of things that we talk about offensively is we want to take a long 18-play drives, getting 3 and outs on defense, changing the field position, doing little things like that, and considering those little victories, things like that, off football related, how we handle ourselves in the public, how we handle ourselves in the school, our character, our discipline, and those kind of things. And I think we've had a lot of little victories. We've handled ourselves well in the school this year. We've had our grades have been good all year. We've done things like that, and we've celebrated those little victories. We talk about those and we want to build on those. And going forward, that's something that we want to build on next year is get more little victories.
You spent some time with Graham County coach Chris Mullins,
yeah.
And I know you guys are pretty tight off the field. What are some of the things that you maybe have learned from him, maybe vice versa, even in your situations? Because you kind of took over a similar situation here that he had at Graham County 6 years ago.
And me and him talk every Friday night. We text back and forth every Friday night, every Saturday, and we're always talking about what's the next step? How do we go to the next step, and how do we stay positive, and how do we what do we build off of? And he kind of had the same concept that I had here. Find the little victories and build on those, and stay positive and build off your positives. It don't matter if you're 10-0 or 0-10, you can find negatives. And do you harp on the negatives or do you harp on the positives? And we're trying to be positive and build a positive atmosphere. And so me and him talk a lot, and that's kind of the main concept that we're always talking to: stay positive, be positive, and build off your positives.
You had a win over West Union to start off the season. That was a good way to set the tone for the season, wasn't it? I mean,
yeah,
at least
great.
You get that win. Mm-hmm. You're 1-0. I mean, it had to make you feel pretty good.
It does. It makes us feel real good. Gave our kids confidence. We felt good. Actually, was watching the film earlier today from that game, and we were playing with emotion. We were excited to play football. And that's one of the things that we talk about all year is being excited and having fun. For the seniors, this is the last night that they go out and play with this team, and it's the last time this team will ever be together. And enjoy your experience with each other, and have fun. And we've had fun in a lot of games, and we didn't win. And maybe it was one or two plays or a series here or there or special teams play that cost us, but we've had fun and we've been able to enjoy those games and move forward. And that's the goal for obviously Friday night, is to have fun with your team and enjoy yourself. And when you're having fun, you're playing football, I mean, good things usually happen.
this Friday night going up against Fleming County. Fleming County's been a little bit of a surprise to some people this season.
Yeah.
They made a little bit of noise in the district. They beat Russell this year. What have you seen from Fleming?
What I've seen is it's typical Fleming. They're going to throw the football. I feel like they run the football a little more than they have in a couple years past. They got good wide receivers, a good quarterback. They've got a good running back. I mean, we'll have our hands full, and we talk about our defensive backs. This will be a big game for our DBs this week, containing the pass and taking care of those things, and linebackers making sure that you don't automatically you're not running to your pass drops. You got to take care of the run, and so we'll have our hands full. They're a good football team, and they've won a few more games than I think people thought they would early. I think they graduated 22 seniors last year, and everybody kind of expected them to be down and this, that, and other, and they've made a little run and made some noise, and so Coach up there always does a good job. So.
Starting with you, I mean, East Carter has a young football coaching staff.
Yeah.
You guys, a lot of guys in their 20s and 30s.
Mm-hmm.
So what are the benefits of that?
The benefits of a young staff is, we're always eager to learn, and we try to learn from everything and everyone. And we're energetic. I feel like one thing that we're always upbeat and energetic, and sometimes you lose that with an older staff, but you gain experience with an older staff. So, we have learned from our mistakes this year that maybe an older staff doesn't make that mistake going into the game that we made, and we've learned from those mistakes and tried to move forward. But at the same time, I think we've been energetic, we've been upbeat, and we've had a good time.
You were on the Fairview staff when the Eagles went to the state championship game in Bowling Green in 2012. What was that experience like?
That was an unbelievable experience, and not only the state championship run, but being around coaches like Gary McPeak and Nathan McPeak and those kind of guys, man, they're unbelievable, and seeing how that they handle their team and learning from them. I think Gary McPeak might be the single-handed best motivator in the state of Kentucky, and he's an unbelievable offensive line coach too, don't get me wrong, but he can get kids to do things that a lot of other guys can't get them to do. And being around him for 15 weeks and getting to see that was amazing, and seeing the things that he can get kids to do and the effort that he can get out of kids, and Nathan McPeak, the way he approached the offensive line position and how he coached those O-linemen, and it's a lot of things that I've taken and learned and trying to implement here.
Obviously, you got bigger fish to fry than keep up with your alma mater, but they're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Pikeville,
Yeah.
having another good season. Of course, they lost to Paintsville earlier this year, 23-22. There might be another meeting in the playoffs. 2006 graduate of Pikeville. What are you thinking about the Panthers this year?
I always enjoy watching the Panthers and keeping up with Coach Mack, and Coach Mack was an unbelievable influence in my life, and playing for the Panthers. Once a Panther, always a Panther, But I always keep up with them, checking scores and seeing how they're doing, and trying to talk to people, back home. Hey, what happened here? How we playing? What's going on? And it's always good to see those guys do well, and I'm always excited to see them do well. Especially being in a different class than them, I can root for them. And we don't ever play them. If something were to ever happen that we'd have to play them, I guess it'd be the one week I don't root for them. So.
Trick or treat this week. I know you have a young son, almost 2 years old. You said.
Yeah.
What's he going to be?
He's going to be a pirate, and graduating from Pikeville, it's a hard pill to swallow, being Belfry's, our big rival, but he picked it out, and that's what he wanted to be, so, he's going as a pirate.
There we
We'll
go.
see.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for joining us. We're going to bring in Peyton Wilburn and Darren Phillips.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, here with Peyton Wilburn. We had to move inside because the rain came on Steve Womack Field, so we moved inside the locker room here. Peyton, first of all, when was the last time you cut your hair?
It's probably in grade school. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That long? Okay, so why is that? Why are you growing it out so long?
Well, I just never got a haircut. My dad said I didn't have to, so I just took it when I was in elementary school.
If you don't see number 44 on the field on Friday night, you can see his hair, and that's how you pick him out. Peyton, you've been a 4-year starter now, so you've been around. What's the difference this year in maybe the mentality of the team, under the direction of now Coach Champlin, changing direction there a little bit? What's the difference?
Well, I know the last few years we'd go into a game just kind of soft and knowing that we're probably going to get beat, and the weight room was nothing compared to what it is now, and the hard work we put in this year is just a lot more intense. And then this year we'll go into a game and we'll be ready and just want to go hard all 4 quarters and just hurt people.
Well, as a senior now, you guys got that first win over West Union, and haven't got a win since. But you know, and I asked your coach about this too. The little victories is where you have a program like this needed to start and rebuild. Have you guys been able to embrace that concept of, you know, okay, we didn't come out ahead on the scoreboard, but we can take this and run with it?
Yeah, we like knew that a new beginning wasn't going to be 10-0. It's going to be slowly building like a program and being successful.
As far as you go, you are playing tight end and linebacker. Which do you enjoy better? Do you enjoy offense or defense better?
I'm a defensive.
I kind of figured that. One of the team leaders in tackles. And have you switched around at all? You know, throughout your 4 years, have you played some middle, outside? What's been the difference there in some of those positions on the linebacking end?
My sophomore year, I was playing outside linebacker, and then during my junior season, I was outside linebacker, but got switched mid-season to inside, and then I just kind of took it from there.
Okay. Okay. What about inside the locker room right here? When you guys are just, you know, kind of loose and hanging out as buddies and whatnot, who's the funniest guy on this team? Are there a couple guys?
There's a few. I'd probably go Jet, Carter, and Chase Webb.
All right. What about you? Are you going to, what's your plan for the future?
I'm still undecided, but I might go try to play college football, but then again, I might just try to go work.
Okay. All right, Peyton, thanks a lot. And we're going to get Darren Phillips on here. Zach's going to come in and talk to him.
Back with East Carter Senior running back safety Darren Phillips. Darren, coming in here with this team, obviously a tough last couple of years, and this year coming, you're building a very young team. As a senior on this team, what's it like to try to build this back to where it was a few years ago?
I feel like it's been a very fun and humbling experience, getting to help the young guys progress and get further than what this program's been before.
Of course, moving into the new district didn't do you guys any favors, but kind of a neat experience getting to play against teams like Ashland Johnson Central. What's it been like this year going into new stadiums, playing new teams and things like that?
It's been different. We've been used to playing the same teams the first 3 years, and then now we're playing a few different teams, and it's been nice.
Running back, kind of the focal point in a lot of ways for the East Carter offense, and then playing safety defensively. Which do you like better?
I like running back.
Yeah.
Running back's fun.
Yeah. What makes it better? What makes it more interesting?
I don't know. I feel like I can help the team running the ball, and I like to run people over. It's fun.
Okay. So looking over here, kind of way before we walked in here, of course, here at East Carter, the locker room and the weight room are kind of in the same place, and the big sign over there says 1,000-pound club, and your name's listed on there, Peyton Wilburn as well. What does that entail? What's that mean?
What do you mean, like?
What's the 1,000-pound club?
It's a combination of the 4 lifts that we focus on: bench press, power press, squat, and power clean. And it's combined all of those. If you get over 1,000 pounds, you're in the 1,000-pound club, and we have like T-shirts for like each club: 800, 1,200, 1,000.
Yeah, 3 guys listed on that sign, so you're one of the 3, or were one of the first 3 guys to get that on this team. Not a big guy, you're kind of not a real big guy. So what kind of went into your mentality of, are you trying to bulk up to be a stronger guy, or I guess what's your weight room mentality like?
Yes, last year I only weighed about 150 pounds.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard to break through tackles, being so much smaller, so I knew I had to get faster and gain some weight. I got it to about 170 and really worked hard to get to where I was able to run better.
Started out this year with a win. West Union came in here and you guys pretty well took it to them. What was that Friday night like for you guys?
It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
I felt like we played really good as a team, and we all had a lot of fun with it.
When you look back on, obviously on this year and several years down the road, hopefully Coach Champlin's still around and this program has built up some success. What would it be like to be part of the beginning of that?
It would be an amazing thing. I feel like that's what we're working towards, and that's our goal, and that's what we expect is for it to this to be a program in the next few years.
Senior, what's your plans after graduation? Have you figured that out yet? Or?
I'm gonna attend college. I'm not sure where yet, but I want to play football.
You do? Okay. All right, wraps up his senior career, high school career here on Friday night against Fleming County. This is Darren Phillips. We'll be back in a second.
We're back here at Steve Womack Field, and we're going to close the show with two for the road. Matt, I'm going to go with Tuesday night as my item because Tuesday night was just fantastic. You had the NBA opening its season. You had the World Series kicking off with Game 1, an epic Game 1 that went over 5 hours. I wasn't even mad I couldn't get it in the paper because, you know, at deadline it was still in the 10th inning. There's no way I was getting that in. I'm sorry if you're looking the next day. But, you know, Alex Gordon with the clutch home run, the 9th inning off of Familia. Familia, one of the best closers in the game. And Alex Gordon comes through with that home run. That was the big moment in that game. I know Hosmer had the sacrifice fly to win it, but the big moment in that game was Alex Gordon's heroics. And what a night for the Kansas City Royals. And what an atmosphere at Kauffman Stadium. It would have been great to be there. And of course, you know, the NBA season started, and I thought about this. I'm like, really? You think the NBA season would have started another night than when the World Series starts? Yeah. But hey, you pack all the goodies in one night, just like you're going to pack all your goodies in one pillowcase on Trick or Treat.
They had the blue-white game last night, Tuesday night too. So my remote was really working overtime last night, or Tuesday night. So I'm going. There's a little horse race in Lexington this weekend. I don't know if anybody heard about this. Breeders' Cup coming to Keeneland. First time in the history of the event that's going to be in Keeneland. The main attraction, the Triple Crown winner Mecca Pharaoh, is going to in his last race, going for immortality. Be the first horse ever to win the Triple Crown and the Breeders' Cup Classic in the same year. But he's got a serious test from a mare called Beholder, who has won 9 Grade 1 races. Grade 1 is the top horse race in America. Won that 9 times, and we're looking to be the first horse to win 3 different Breeders' Cup races. So that would be a great event, I think.
Looking forward to that. Wow, Lexington's the place to be this weekend, isn't it?
Well, the great thing about the Breeders' Cup is too, it's not like the Derby where you have to wait around all day for the big race. I mean, the big races come constantly, over and over. Have 4 on Friday evening, and then 9 more on Saturday. So they got just the top horses in the entire world are going to be at Keeneland this weekend.
And just to recap some other sports in the area, Rowan County's girls and boys soccer teams move on to the Elite 8 of the state tournament. Congratulations to them. And then also, you know, you look at the 16th Region Volleyball Tournament. It just wrapped up on Thursday night at Fleming County, and they'll be represented at the state tournament. The 16th Region will be represented at the state tournament. And, you know, it's just that time of year when all the postseasons are coming, cross country as well. And, you know, you start thinking about all area. This is kind of our all area season. Yes. So just keep an eye on the Daily Independent for coverage of all these events from all over the area.
I mean, Lexington's going to be a busy place this weekend.
Absolutely.
We talked about the Breeders' Cup, and then soccer is going to be in Lexington too, the state tournament.
Yes, sir. And
cross country. So it's going to be tough sledding in Lexington this weekend.
And on Halloween night, Kentucky and Tennessee go at it.
Exactly.
7:30. All right, we'll be back next week. I think we're going to come at you from the Daily Independent offices. So we look forward to that. Matt Sparks, we had Zach Clemmy on the show a little while ago, and I'm Aaron Snyder. HTPT is sponsored by Fannin Automotive Family. Thanks to Coach Champlin, Peyton Wilburn, and Darren Phillips for joining us today from East Carter High School. We'll see you next week.